Nearly a month after Raja Jackson brutally assaulted pro wrestler Syko Stu in a viral attack that left the victim unconscious with multiple facial fractures, Jackson has finally been arrested. But what exactly is he facing now? On Thursday, September 18th, the son of UFC legend Quinton Rampage Jackson was arrested by Los Angeles police and booked on felony charges. He's currently being held on $50,000 bail, and the streaming platform Kick has permanently banned his account where his assault was broadcast live. But this is just the beginning of Jackson's legal nightmare, because based on Syko Stu's extensive injuries, including jaw trauma, facial fractures, tooth loss, and loss of consciousness, prosecutors will likely charge Jackson under California Penal Code 243D, which covers battery causing serious bodily injury, also known as aggravated battery. In California, this is what's called a wobbler offense, meaning prosecutors can charge it as either a misdemeanor or a felony. But given the severity of Smith's injuries, the viral nature of the attack, and the fact that Jackson mounted Smith and punched him over 24 times while he was defenseless, a felony charge is almost certain. And if convicted of felony aggravated battery, Raja faces 2 to 4 years in state prison and fines up to $10,000. But here's where it gets much worse. California law includes what's called a great bodily injury enhancement, meaning when someone suffers significant physical injury, like Syko Stu's fractured facial bones, extended hospital stay, and loss of several teeth, prosecutors can add an additional 3 to 6 years to the prison sentence, which means Raja Jackson could potentially be looking at up to 10 years in state prison total. But the punishment doesn't end when he gets out of prison, because a great bodily injury enhancement counts as a strike under California's notorious 3 strikes law. This means that if Raja is ever convicted of another felony in the future, his sentence would be doubled. And if he gets a 3rd strike, that's an automatic 25 years to life. But beyond prison time, a felony conviction would destroy Raja's future prospects. He'd lose his right to own firearms and face major obstacles finding employment, housing, or even traveling internationally for potential MMA fights. And this conviction would follow him for life, because even if it's expunged, it still counts as a strike for any future felony charges. So what defense does Raja have? I mean, his legal team faces an uphill battle. The entire assault was live streamed and went viral. There's crystal clear video evidence of Jackson mounting an unconscious man and continuing to punch him in the face. So self-defense seems impossible to argue. Now, the defense might try to argue that this was supposed to be a planned wrestling spot that went wrong, but even his own father, Rampage Jackson, has publicly condemned the attack and said his son should face jail time, literally telling MMA journalist Ariel Helwani, quote, "I think he should do a little time, do a little community service, and go to anger management class, get some therapy." Hell, when your UFC legend father is calling for you to go to prison, that tells you everything about how serious the situation is. So Raja Jackson now faces arraignment where he'll formally hear the charges and enter a plea. And given the strength of the evidence, his best hope might be negotiating a plea deal to avoid the maximum sentence. But make no mistake, this is not going away. Syko Stu spent days in intensive care and faces a long road to recovery. The video evidence is undeniable, and California takes violent crimes very seriously. So Raja Jackson went from being the son of a UFC champion to potentially spending the next decade of his life behind bars, all for 30 seconds of uncontrolled violence that was completely unnecessary and absolutely brutal.
Attempted murder.
The dude that was messing with him bit off more than he can chew.
He beat Stuart Smith, I swear, halfway to death.
Raja Jackson needs to go to prison for quite some time.